He wants some updates. He thinks that the government of the day deliberately doesn't want to continue with Agenda 111, and he thinks that it will be a waste of the taxpayers' money, especially when the NDC has promised to do a reset. So why have you left Agenda 111 to rot?
Bro, you know my position on uncompleted government projects. And I have been a strong advocate that regardless of which political party started what projects, government must be interested in continuing the project and completing it. I have, on many occasions, complained here on this platform that any time I drive past Saglemi housing project, I feel pain, I feel hurt by how millions of dollars was sunk in that project, and today these projects were not in use because a certain government came and decided not to complete the project and operationalize them. I even called that there must be some legislation of a sort which compels agencies and ministries to first complete projects they started before initiating new ones. I recall even asking that even with Get Fund, with thousands of uncompleted structures dotted around this country, we should find a way of compelling them to finish some of those projects, regardless of who will take the credit for them. And so my philosophy is that every project that the NDC started in 2009 that was not completed, that the NPP came, couldn't complete, and all of that, we should complete them. But it's important for us to put this conversation in proper context. Let me first say that I have huge respect for Dr. Okoe Boye. I have huge respect for him. But I think that on this, if I were him, or if I am to advise him, if I were in his position, he should be hiding. Dr. Okoe Boye should be hiding.
Why?
And shouldn't be seen to be speaking to these issues.
Why? Why not?
Because he was the immediate, or he was the minister in charge of the sector.
I'm struggling.
And they failed. They failed the health sector completely. And the fact that Dr. Okoe Boye today can be demanding answers from the NDC government on the La General Hospital is the highest form of hypocrisy that anyone can tolerate in politics. Like I said, as an individual, I have huge respect for Dr. Okoe Boye. But he and his government failed the people of La. Now let me tell you the history of La General Hospital. They demolished the hospital prior to the 2020 elections and promised the people that they will construct a new or a bigger hospital for them. They didn't do it. After several agitations and complaints, when he realized that their electoral fortunes were at risk, then they decided to send contractors back to site. And when they did, they had no dedicated source of fund for that project. And I challenged him to tell us which funds they made available for the La General Hospital project. At the time they were leaving, the project was not even up to 30% complete. So you spent 5 years and you failed to reconstruct a hospital you yourself demolished and promised the people you were going to complete in a few months or years. And today, in 9 months, 10 months, you are on the neck of the new government, asking the government to use what we call our transitional budget. Now, every government begins with a transitional budget. The first year's budget is more or less a transitional budget. So you fail to do it in 4 years. Now look at the structure. You fail to do it in 4 to 5 years. And today you are holding press conferences. And the nerve to even invite the media and boldly speak about these things for me tells me that some people don't have any respect for the people of Ghana. Muru. Dr. Okoe Boye shouldn't be the one speaking about La General Hospital because that project failed because they refused or they failed the people of La and they didn't do anything about it. Today, they left no dedicated source of fund for the project. It is the NDC government that has allocated 130 million for the project. So the project will continue. We'll finish it for the people of La. But if there is anyone that should demand accountability or that should pressurize government to complete this project, it shouldn't be Dr. Okoe Boye or the NPP, because they feel it is completely, it's just an epitome of their failure. Agenda 111. This whole project, this whole policy, this whole Agenda 111 was built on the foundation of lies, grand deception, a grand illusion that was designed in the theater of political expediency, with no budget, no feasibility studies backing the execution of this project. It started with His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo promising that he was going to finish 77 hospitals. Recall, during the COVID. Then he told us he will finish the project in 1 year. Is that not the promise he made? Foundation of lies, grand illusion. Then 77 all of a sudden became Agenda 111, that they were now going to construct 111 district hospitals. Look, no one in Ghana, even if you are an enemy of the state, to have 111 projects, hospital projects delivered across this country would have been a fantastic idea. So we all embraced it. But we told them to be careful, because the man who was promising the 111 hospitals, we know his track record when it comes to delivery on some of these things. But they didn't listen. Even on this program, they peddled so many falsehoods about how the project had reached various stages of completion and all of that. Moro, the 1 year passed, no show from Akufo-Addo and his darling boys. Second year passed. This was a 2020 promise, which was to be delivered in 1 year. No show. 2022, no show. 23, no show. 2024, because of politics. Even 2024, the likes of Kojo Opo Nkrumah and other spokespersons of the NPP campaign told us that they were about completing all the Agenda 111 projects. There are videos.
Kojo never said that.
I will show. No.
They went to
some. No, I will get the one. It's your turn.
When
they
never said
they told us
completing all.
At the end of 2024,
Kojo never said
they lost the elections. NDC is in power, and I'm saying it on authority. Take this from me. At the time they left, not a single Agenda 111 project was operationalized. Not a single. They handed over the project for politics. When they took delivery of the project, now they did not operationalize any. Whoa, my little understanding of project
not
management.
Even one hospital.
Which of them was operationalized?
Was under use.
They were not in use.
Wow.
So for the sake of politics, they had to hand over these projects and present them as completed, even when not a single one was in use. And so at the time the NPP left power, let it be on record, none of their Agenda 111 projects were operationalized. None. Not a single one.
Even though they had been commissioned.
Now, how do you,
and
they commissioned,
and
yes.
completed.
So projects were said to be completed.
Yes.
Commissioned.
Close to about 47?
And handed over. No, it's not even up to 47. They were just talking about some 3 billion like that.
Okay, so here's the thing. So my production team have done, so list of over 200 hospital projects started by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government.
Yes. Go to the first page. I want to speak to the first page.
Okay.
And I will expose the compendium of lies.
So there's a Kontombra, there's Bogosu, there's a Lubu, in Poho. These are the completed hospitals. And Agenda 111, right?
Moro.
There's UGMCP.
They made so much noise about the 13.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I challenge your production team to go there today and see what. Yes. And then number 7, they mentioned better.
Uh-huh.
I have said this, and I'm saying it again. The NPP should stop. They should stop that big fat lie.
What's the issue?
Vector is a John Dramani Mahama project.
Huh?
President Mahama cut the sword for Vector Hospital. When he was president, when he was president in his first term, President Mahama cut Opeta is in my constituency. The chiefs and people of Beta gave the land to the NDC government. President Mahama cut the sword. Project started. He secured funding for the project before the NDC left office in 2016. There was dedicated source of funding for that particular project. When the NPP came, they attempted moving the Beta Hospital project to another region. It took the effort of the then Member of Parliament, Honorable Aveji, and the chiefs and people of Beta to have the project completed because there was already a dedicated source of funding secured by President Mahama, and the money was lying down there in the account. So the contractors were on site working before President Akufo-Addo came into office. So if a project started by John Mahama, funding secured, contractors were on site working before NPP came into office, was completed somewhere in 2018 thereabout, why are you taking credit and adding it to one of your completed hospitals as if you did anything about that project? So that whole list is nothing but a catalog of lies.
That's the hospital.
Deception. Better hospital, yes. It is a John Dramani Mahama project. And anytime I see or I hear any MPP person claiming credit for the Better Hospital, it annoys me because it is in my constituency. I know everything about that project. These were projects that they were using to deceive the people in Ashanti and other places. The truth remains one. The Better Municipal Hospital in Ketu North is a project by John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government. MPP should stop listing it as part of their projects. We will not tolerate that at all. You failed. None of the Agenda 111 projects were, and even that Better Hospital we are talking about was completed way before they started talking about Agenda 111. So why are you listing Agenda 111 projects and you are now adding Better Hospital just to what? Make the list look voluminous, balloon the list, and to create the impression that you indeed delivered those hospitals. That's a shame, embarrassing. They should stop. Ketu North District Hospital is a John Dramani Mahama and an NDC project. So MPP, stop listing them as part of your project. Moro, to conclude, what the NDC is doing is that we will complete the Agenda 111 projects, but we are doing auditing. The government is interested in a forensic audit into these projects. As soon as we are done with the audit, government will allocate funding, resources to complete all these projects. But let it remain on record that the MPP left all these projects uncompleted.
Okay.
The MPP left no fund, not even a cedi. There was no dedicated source of funding for the Agenda 111 projects.
Okay.
It was just built on the foundation of lies, conceived in political theater, no strategic planning, no feasibility studies.
Okay.
There was no funds to execute this project. It was just a reckless promise that they made and failed to deliver.
Let me
Admit that you couldn't deliver on this project.
Let me use this 2 minutes just